Thermal, you probably heard things like, well, we got a 4-inch thermal, or you hear like DPI, or what is all that kind of stuff. So let me talk about what's the major, maybe kind of the 3 major parameters for specifying a thermal printer. The first thing is the head resolution, okay? And the way it works, I showed you how we have this print image coming across, okay? One way that you're moving the paper determines a resolution. How fast in between dots you move it is one way. But in the other direction, the density, if you will, of the print image is defined by the print head. So if I have a print head with the dots further apart, let's say 1/200th of an inch or 200 dpi, that makes a little bit of a lower resolution image. Okay. If I put these closer together, it makes a higher resolution image, so 300 dpi. And in some extreme cases, this will even go up to 600 dpi. Okay. I would say actually, though, the radical majority of printing is done in the 200 dpi range. And in fact, when thermal printing was kind of invented, that was really the original density, and that's pretty high. Okay, so a lot of it is that way, and the idea is too is that 200 dpi also a little lower density head, but then it means that the dots are a little bit bigger, and then they're a little bit more durable to wear, so it kind of makes a good, robust thing, and is generally good enough for all the applications. The second major parameter is called the width of the printer. Okay. It doesn't matter how long the label is, but obviously you have a print head in here, and how wide is that print head is going to define the widest area you can print. What generally the market is going to around these 3 sizes, 4, 6, and 8, for the major, what we'll call the major industrial applications. At the bottom side, there's actually 2 inches. We don't make any 2-inch printers. And that's what you'd normally see, like printing that lottery label for the kiosk or something like that. And there's a few really wide printers, pretty rare applications, maybe doing something like labeling a paper roll in a paper mill or something like that. It's pretty wide. In fact, the vast majority is done on a 4-inch printer. And if you think about all your Amazon shipping labels and all that kind of stuff, that's all 4-inch width. Okay? Probably the next most popular is 6-inch, and it falls off fairly sharply when you get up to 8-inch, because that's getting to be a pretty big label. Okay? Now, when you talk about the pricing of the printer, and what you're going to find then is the next most important parameter is this guy right here, the durability workload. There's a lot of great little printers, and they maybe, let's say, 200 dpi. I can find a 200 dpi 4-inch printer and buy it for $400. Or I can buy one for nearly $3,000. And you're saying, wait a minute. Well, is one way faster than the other? Yeah, one's a little faster than the other one. But what's the difference between a $400 200 dpi printer and a $3,000 one? It's that durability, okay? It's the same thing in the line printer. If I showed you when I talked about the line printer, I can show you a little dot matrix printer for $500 that prints basically the same print image as the line printer. But that costs $500, the line printer costs $5,000. What you're paying for is that durability. These things all go into some sort of business critical application, okay? If you're sitting there at Amazon and you have a truck full of boxes to go out and the label printer doesn't print, you just don't put the boxes on the truck and say, well, let's hope we can remember who they go to. Or let's write on a Sharpie real quick who they're supposed to go to. It won't work. They have to have those labels on there. So they'll pay a premium for a product that is so good that it will last. Okay. So this is now kind of a view of what you're looking at, the whole desktop range kind of stationary products. Okay. These are, when we mean stationary, it means they're made generally to sit on top of a workstation, maybe on top of a mobile cart, but these are not battery operated or anything like that. So you see down here you have ultra low entry level, like maybe this little Epson guy here, and this is just some representative products from other manufacturers and things just to show kind of what's in there. Little Epson printer, $250 to $500, okay, about a 3-inch width, okay. Maybe you'd see that in at a cash register acting as a receipt printer. Then you start getting into these, entry level. They call these clamshells or desktops and everything like that. Maybe 5 inches per second, about 4 inches. This little guy here is a little bit narrower. And then you start getting into a little bit beefier of units. And really the spec in between these two guys is not going to be so much about speed. It's not going to be so much about width or even the print image. The print image is probably pretty good. It's that this guy can handle a lot more labels. Okay? And that's what determines how many labels. And you watch as you move up to the spectrum here, suddenly you get up to the high end. And Printronix generally plays in the mid, upper, and beyond. Okay, so you're looking at machines north of about $1,500. Okay, but these are the real durability guys, sort of sharing with where you see the line printers sharing at. Now, there's also more thermal space, and I know you guys seen these if you return to a rental car or something like that, or sometimes in a store you'll see somebody going up around the aisles. There's mobile printers out there. At this point, Printronix isn't playing in the mobile industry, but I kind of show this to show that one of the beauties about the thermal market space is there's a lot of room to grow within this space. Okay, so there's other products, there's other product categories. There's a lot of wide open opportunity in the thermal space there. Interestingly, the portable printers are not necessarily cheap. Okay, you're going to see printers here up in the $1,600 range, $1,000, $1,200 range, because again, if I've got using this printer and I drop the thing and it breaks, my whole operation's on. You don't return the cars and say, well, just line them up and we'll just forget it, we'll sort it out later. The guy needs a receipt right then and there. The durability again becomes really